the day I had, and boy, do I got a word for you, but I first got to tell you a story. One of my favorite parts of the Bible is Jesus is a lot sassier than we ever make him out to be. And there's these religious leaders in the book of Luke asking him, if you were the Messiah, they said, tell us. And he said, I would, but you wouldn't even believe me if I told you. And I love that. And they wouldn't have. So you wouldn't believe me if I told you, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So I had somebody say something gross to me today. And that does not matter. Happens all the time on the internet. And I had a lot of local meetings today. My day got all topsy-turvied. But I'm just going to say the providence of God stepped into my day. Okay, the providence of God was in my day. So I had an appointment today, and I walk in, and when I'm on my way to that appointment, my Uber driver is crying, which I loved because it was sweet. I'd had her before, and I got to pray with her, and what she said to me was, I appreciate you so much, and I would often let people pray for me because I don't trust that they're really going to say the things that I need to be said, or that they really know God that well. I'm just protective of people praying over me, which I understand. She was like, but I felt so comfortable, like I was so open to you praying for me. And we prayed for something very specific, and she said that next day, it happened. She's like, so I've been waiting to see you again. She ended up having a neighbor go pick up her children so that she could take me as an Uber, even though she stops every day at 2 o'clock, just so she could tell me that. So I got to pray for her again. She said a very specific phrase to me. And when a man says something yucky, women like when women say nice things to them. And my prayer last night was, Lord, show me that people see me as a person. And God, I want to be appreciated, and not really by people, but I want to know that people don't take all the hard work that we do for granted. And I don't need anybody to say anything. You just show me that it's still there. So I go into this appointment that I have. And in the car, this woman had reminded me, you're beautiful inside and out, which was kind. I go inside, didn't think much of it. And the woman that was doing my appointment said, you're beautiful inside and out. Okay. So I go to my next stop, and I have the opportunity to talk to what felt like young me. I'm just a little girl. I've got her at this Japanese restaurant twice. She has been not really my waitress, but she's just kind of a young waitress, and she's learning, and she's really sweet. And I'll leave the rest of the details out because it's her story. But I don't know why I wore this pencil bracelet I've had forever, and I just now wore it. And I usually won't spend a lot on things because I just don't. I'm not a frivolous person. But this is a designer that makes really weird jewelry. And I bought it because it stood out to me. I didn't even know why I bought it, and I felt like I should wear it today. And I just thought, okay, well, I guess it's about time that I'll wear it. And when I'm ready to leave, the Lord tells me to give that away to that girl, and he gave me something to tell her. When I give it to her, her face lights up. And as I'm leaving, I see that she's telling the other young kids that work there, and she's lit up from ear to ear. And I'm walking out the door. And I've all day told everybody I spoke to, God is just so kind. God is just so kind. And by the time I left the Japanese restaurant, I walked out the door, and I'm talking to myself at this point, God, you're just so kind. Well, my day ended in the best way it possibly could. I always stop at this one little place, and I walk in, and nobody from anywhere that I'm from will be in here. And I go in, and the Lord points out somebody's really beautiful white hair. So I walk up, and I tell them how pretty their hair is. When I turn around, I recognize this face. Like, why would I recognize you this far from home? So I say, this is going to sound weird, but do I know you? I know you. I proceed to say the name of my family, and she smiles. And when I turn around, lo and behold, if it's not my spiritual father, the very reason that I went into this line of work, the very reason that I teach the way I do, that I'm so adamant about the Holy Spirit, he's just standing there. We had a long conversation about what God's doing, how he's moving in the earth, and all that he's doing, and how kind he is. Here's what I wanted to tell you, is that the providence of God is all around you, meaning the right time, what you need when you need it. God, on time, all the time. Never early, never late. And you wouldn't believe me, even if I told you. But boy, sometimes I wish that you could just see the things that I get to see. But what I wanted to tell you, and the word I wanted to give you today, is the one that the Lord tells me all the time. Stay about my business, and I'll stay about yours. And boy, did he ever. Because I started my day out going, why are people like this? To going, God, how are you like this? You're just so kind. This is actually one of the best days I've had in a long time. Isn't that cool? Isn't that God? Whatever you're worried about, and whatever you're going through, you know what the right answer is? Stay about the Father's business, and he'll stay about yours, and you won't have to worry about anything. You won't have to worry about anything. If you want that verse to go study yourself, it's in the book of Luke, chapter 22, verse 67. Stay about the Father's business, and I promise you, I'm a living testimony every day I'm alive. He will stay about yours.